All right, good morning. I'd like to call the Skagit Board of Directors meeting to order of March 20th, 2024. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can you give me assist with the roll call of the members, please?
Commissioner Browning. Commissioner Janicki. Here. Commissioner Wiesen.
Here.
Mayor Donovan.
Here.
Johnson. Mayor Miller.
Here.
Mayor Aslett.
Here.
Councilperson Stavik.
Here.
Councilperson Vanderstoep. Judy Jones.
Here.
And Colleen Kennedy.
Okay, first up on the agenda, public comment. Any, do we receive any written comment? Do you know? All right, any members of the public wish to comment to the Skagit Transit Board? Looking for raised hands online, and I think I've got one. Okay, go ahead, please, and state your name.
Joe Kunzel here. I'll be very brief because I'm calling in from the Skagit Transit ADX. First, I want to thank everyone who enabled these online meetings. It's a real privilege to be able to call into the board. I'm looking forward to these long plan meetings starting later this month because I'm very concerned about the span of service we have to the weekend. It would be nice if we had buses run up later, so that when there are events that happen, we can have a ride home that doesn't cost $20 to $30 a ride. So I'd like to leave my comments to that. Thank you for your public service. I'll go on mute.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else here in the chambers? Okay, well, we'll move on to item number 5. This is an executive session, and the board will now meet in executive session to discuss review performance of a public employee as allowed under RCW 4230-110. The board will be in executive session for approximately 20 minutes, so we'll plan on coming back at 11:23. Thank you. Okay, I call the regular Skagit Transit Board meeting back to order. So next up is item 6, our consent agenda with some action items, and hopefully everybody's had a chance to review the consent agenda, the items. If you need to pull anything off, you can pull something off, but if not, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So Matt, I just a quick.
So you want to pull a consent agenda off to discuss?
Yes, if we gotta
Yeah.
talk about it, yeah, I guess so. Maybe
Which one?
monthly budget update there.
Okay, so the January budget update, item 6C or 6B?
Yeah, is that page 6 you're talking about? Page,
Well, I'm looking at number 6 on the agenda items.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that would be this.
Page 6.
Agenda item 6C. Okay, the January budget update. Let's pull that off the consent agenda. And typically what I do is pull it off the consent agenda, and then if there's anything else, we can approve the rest of the items on the consent agenda, and then we can discuss item 6C.
Motion to approve this consent agenda minus 6C.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Browning and a second by Mayor Johnson to approve consent agenda items A, B, D, E, and F. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, so we approve that. Thank you, and we'll take a look at it. So 6C, Mr. Stavic.
So I'm kind of new to this board, as most of you know,
Okay.
and so I don't know if you guys have discussed this or not before, but as far as the fair revenue, when I'm looking at that, I think it would be helpful to have kind of the monthly budget. I mean, that we have I certainly can divide it myself, but to see where we're at in January and have the monthly amount right underneath that as opposed to the annual budget. So that was my first maybe observation. And then on the expenses, I was just like the route improvements and the park and ride. Are not 100% sure what that is.
Crystal, can you help me out there?
So a couple of things in the board packet that you got, it will have the monthly breakdown of fares in the, can I have the one that you? It'll be in two different places on the P&L that you received, and it'll also be on this spreadsheet.
But is this one something that we're gonna get on each meeting?
Get this, the board gets the whole packet. The whole financial packet comes,
So they were two separate packets, right? Is that one that you sent me? That's this guy. Okay, and so the monthly budget is on there as well. I'm just looking at this. I downloaded this from the website.
Oh, did you not get the board packet sent to you?
Well, I got that's the one I was talking to you about. So is it a separate packet that's not online to the
Yes.
public? Well, she did send me the financials, so I got that one.
Well, there's the one that comes in the packet that gets posted online, and then there's this one. If you want, we're happy to go over that with you after.
Okay.
If
But it
that's
does
okay.
have a monthly thing. When I just look at this thing, I'm just saying, I see January here, the numbers, and then I see the annual budget as opposed to what it would look like on a,
I can certainly add that. That's, yeah.
If it's okay with the board, we can go over, unless you wanted to address
Yeah.
it here.
No,
We're happy to go
No, that
over.
was just an observation on that.
Okay,
I did it myself. I was just saying to look at it. It's, okay, this is where we're at in January. This is what we were expecting in January.
oh, okay, so you want budget to actuals or? Okay,
Not a huge deal on that, for sure. And so on the expenses, the route improvements and the park and ride, is that, what is route and what is that route improvement?
So those are
Expenses.
capital improvements to.
Yeah, can you get up closer to the thing? Yeah, we do have.
That's helpful, isn't it? So route improvements are, so these are these are capital improvements down here. So the route improvements of 7,300 are going to be improvements to bus stops specifically. So, and then park and ride. So that's going to be improvements that are done at the park and rides. Revenue equipment, it looks like we actually had an adjustment there. So that's why it's showing as a negative. Service equipment is typically, capital equipment that is purchased for the buses. MOA2, that's capital expenditures for MOA2 for the month. And then intangible assets, that's software.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, that's a great discussion. We're trying to be efficient on our meetings. So if, again, there's something on the consent agenda you want to talk about, that's exactly what we're trying to do. So.
So having taken care of that, motion to approve 6C. Second.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Browning, a second by, I think, was that Mayor Aslett? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're on to our full discussion action items and 7A, approve June 2024 meeting date change. Crystal.
thank you. June 19th is recognized as the federal holiday, Juneteenth, and as a holiday for Skagit Transit. In 2024, this date falls on a regularly scheduled board meeting. It was a poll was sent to board members to determine the new date of this meeting, Thursday, June 20th from 12 to 1. Determined that was the date with the most availability. And I heard on the SCOG meeting earlier that, as you guys heard, we partnered with them to make sure that, and that was a request of you guys to make sure that we got that back to back like it normally is. So we made that happen. Thank you for
The
doing
board
that.
appreciates that coordination.
Yeah. Staff recommends the board approve changing the June 2024 board meeting to Thursday, June 20th from 12 to 1 p.m.
I move we approve the recommendation to move the June board meeting.
A motion by Commissioner Janicki, a second by Mayor Johnson to approve the change to the board meeting schedule to the 20th. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, 7B, approve chief executive officer compensation increases. So just for the public's information, as part of the chief executive officer contract, at 12 months, the board chair will conduct formal performance evaluation, which will include feedback obtained through interviews of board of directors, executive staff, in conjunction with the successful performance evaluation upon the anniversary date of 1 year employment. Skagit Transit, in sole discretion, increase chief executive officer's compensation. Compensation increases will follow the established Skagit Transit salary schedule, but may be modified at the board's discretion. Thereafter, performance evaluation shall be conducted annually pursuant to the policy established by Skagit Transit. So I was, as the board chair, I was able to do a 360 evaluation and meet with a number of managers and get feedback on Crystal's performance. And the feedback was, I was very pleased with the feedback. All areas, we used the standard Skagit Transit form. So for all the employees of Skagit Transit, same evaluation form, and all areas were meets expectations or exceeds expectations. So very pleased on that feedback. And so with that, it was recommended to increase for her compensation by 1 step after discussion and consultation with the other board members that also reviewed her evaluation, with an effective date of the first of March. Colin, did you have something to say? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I have been involved in the dispatchers contract and they were not given a 1% longevity increase because they would not agree to how she wanted them to choose vacations for the year. So 3 to 4 dispatchers have lost out on a 1% longevity. And also a new dispatcher was hired. Talking to dispatchers, none of them have said they needed another dispatcher. But they chose somebody out of customer service and now there's no money to replace the customer service representative at Skagit Station. So once again, the public is being affected.
Okay, thanks. And like we said before, any discussions of bargaining units are going to happen as a separate negotiation if you're talking about either dispatchers or drivers. As far as union negotiations, those are going to be done in a different form than this. But thanks for the input.
So you're looking for a motion to recommend 1 step?
Correct.
Motion to approve 1 step increase.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Browning and a second by Councilmember Stavig to approve a 1-step increase for our chief executive officer, effective, if you're good with effective the anniversary date for March 1st. And I get nods from both. Any additional discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And again, thank you, Crystal, for great work, a lot of hard work, and appreciate the first year.
Great working with this board. Okay,
So yeah, it's still me. 8 information items, and this is CEO update. You're helping me out here.
I know I almost jumped the gun. Sorry about that. MOA 2. Oh, no, that was in consent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good. MOA two work is progressing on MOA two. There have been some additional unexpected expenses since the last board meeting, but we are working with the architect and contractor to resolve issues as they arise. One issue, a refabrication of the gutters. Yes, we're talking about gutters again, is to address concerns related to water ingress that will cause a delay in the schedule. Our contractor is now estimating a completion date of June 7th, 2024. Any questions on MOA two? Okay, I'll move on. Recruitments, we received 11 resumes for the finance director position. Prothman interviewed 7 candidates, 3 were selected for final interviews. We are scheduled for final interviews on April 5th, and I believe Commissioner Janicki is going to sit on that panel with us. Okay, thank you. I'm excited to announce that we have finally job offered a candidate for the capital projects manager position. We are currently waiting for his background check to clear, and we're hoping for a start date of April 1st rather. We have a candidate from the East Coast coming March 25th for a final interview for the planning operations supervisor position. We are planning on having another bus driver class starting April 15th with 3 to 4 new students. This is still under review based on anticipated separations. Any questions on recruitments? Okay, moving on. Employee meeting. We had our employee meeting on March 9th, which went fairly well. During this meeting, we shared our new mission and vision statement with staff. We solicited feedback from staff for a few weeks prior to the meeting, asking what they wanted to see included in our statements. The team worked together, taking that feedback into consideration when drafting both the mission and vision statements. You will see our new statements included in our revised PPM, our personnel policy manual. We really appreciate the employee feedback. And I would also like to thank Councilmember Stavik for attending. The employees really appreciated having him there to support us. Also at the meeting, we provided employees with an employee satisfaction survey. The results are attached for your review. There was about 68, I think, employees that participated in. Overall, we believe that employees are satisfied with Skagit Transit. There was some employee feedback about, and you guys have this in your packet too. Definitely a request for more transparency on what's happening within the organization, recognition for work, and not everyone thinks that we value their feedback. So we're obviously going to continue working on that. But overall, we feel like the satisfaction survey went well. So if you want any further, dive into this any further, it's included in everyone's packet. National Transit Driver Appreciation Day. Monday was National Transit Driver Appreciation Day. We celebrated our bus drivers by hosting a pancake breakfast. Most of the executive team arrived to work between 3:45 a.m. and 4 a.m. to set up, cook, and serve breakfast to our drivers until about 8:30 a.m. All employees were welcome to participate. We plan on providing similar events every quarter to employees spread throughout the day to ensure that all employees' shifts are able to participate. Any feedback on that? Okay, moving on to community events. I've talked to a number of you about this, and some of you have already either provided or forwarded information to me on this. I really appreciate it. We will be kicking off our long-range transit plan community outreach beginning Saturday, March 23rd, and we will hold public meetings in Anacortes, Cedro Woolley, LaConner, Concrete, Mount Vernon, Bow, Burlington, and tentatively in Bellingham. Interested community members can check out our website at SkagitTransit.org for more information. We will be having a meeting on March 28th at Skagit Station from 11 to 12:30 for government agencies and nonprofits only to participate in the long-range transit plan. We will be serving lunch, and I'd like to encourage all of you to either join us or please send someone from your respective agencies to provide input. Community events, we have an information table at the Concrete Fair on April 8th. We will have an information table at the YMCA Fair on April 13th in Mount Vernon. And we will have an information table and possibly a bus at the Anacortes Street Fair on April 20th. Any questions on community events? Okay, moving on. Triennial. So it took our staff 2 months to gather the required documentation and upload it into the FTA portal for our triennial review, which was due February 29th. The auditor will take the next 4 months to review the documentation, at which point they will likely ask for supporting or additional documentation. They will conduct their on-site visit June 25th and 26th. During the on-site visit, they will ask for random files from financials, procurement contracts, maintenance records, our TAM plan or maintenance plan, or asset management plan, sorry, transit asset management plan, or really anything they want. There's nothing off limits. We did submit an EEO policy that hasn't been updated, but we will continue to work on that and we'll have it submitted before our on-site visit. And just like the 2 audits that we've done since I've been here, the drug and alcohol audit and the state audit, I feel confident that we're going to have a successful audit for this too. Any questions on that? Okay, moving on. So a couple of weeks ago, the FTA announced their 2024-5307 appropriations. In order to receive full funding, we had to meet 4 of the 6 performance metrics for 2022. And unfortunately, due to service cuts during that time, and again, I want to remind the public and the board that this is the 2022 service cuts. Unfortunately, due to the service cuts during that time, that equated to about a 40% service reduction. Because of that, we only met 3 out of the 4 performance metrics to get full funding, meaning that we lost approximately $600,000 in federal funding for 2024. We were originally expected to receive about $3.4 million, but will now only be receiving about 2.8. And of this $2.8 million, we only budgeted approximately 1.4 into our 2024 budget, meaning the additional $1.4 million can be used for 2025 funds or budget rather, or after that. And I feel like I've already spoken to most of you guys about this. So is there any further questions on that?
Questions?
So we did have service cuts in 2023, but they were not, so back in 2022, they cut like they went hourly service for like the 204, 5, 6, 7, I believe. They cut the 409 and there was one other service cut. So while we did have service cuts in 2023, which was daily cuts that we were making, a preliminary analysis of our performance metrics revealed that we will meet performance metrics for 2023 to receive our full funding in 2025, but we will continue to monitor that. We are working closely with AFSCME by establishing a committee to identify we are experiencing high absenteeism in hopes of finding a solution to that soon, because that was the primary reason for our service cuts in 2023.
So those ridership numbers are obviously really important to make those targets for the federal funding.
So our performance metrics are passenger miles per revenue vehicle mile, passenger miles per vehicle revenue hour, vehicle revenue miles per capita, vehicle revenue hours per capita, passenger miles per capita, and passenger trips per capita. So those are the metrics that we have to meet to get our 4 of the 6 metrics that we have to meet to get our full funding. And I have the information here if anybody wants to look at the specifics.
And how often do you submit those metrics?
Every year. So like I said, so we're typically 2 years behind. We are 2 years behind. In 2022 and 2023, the FTA allowed us to submit 2019 numbers due to the pandemic. So it wasn't until 2024 that they made us use our 2022 numbers. So we were getting full funding the previous 2 years because they were allowing us to use our pre-pandemic numbers.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Yeah,
All of those routes in 2022 were not cut that she just rattled off. I was here.
okay.
No routes were cut.
Okay, yeah, and obviously the main issue is meeting those 6 metrics and we didn't, or meeting 4 out of the 6 metrics and we didn't.
But
and we
she's
met
saying
3.
there were cuts. That's a lie.
Did they,
I was here. There were no routes
were the
cut.
metrics, did the performance take
So
place?
Pauline, what I mean by that is we took at
You
least
said route 204 was cut, 205, 206, 207, 208. That's not true.
So we did not cut service, meaning we didn't take a bus out of that service and decrease our frequency from 30-minute service to an hour.
The 205, 206, which goes together, and the 207.
That's
It was a
closer
mutually
production.
agreed upon. It was an MOU that was created by the CEO at that time. It was not a cut in service. It was not a cancellation.
But so it went from a half an hour to an hour. So,
Correct.
okay, so
Those two.
Right.
so that sounds like a reduction. So maybe it's just a semantics of
Last
cut
year,
versus reduction.
Last year, every single day, as many as 5 routes a day were canceled without the public even knowing.
Yeah, so again, we're talking 2022.
That was
uh,
COVID.
2022 numbers, and just to make sure the facts are correct, are right, appreciate that. It's went from a half an hour service on some of these routes to a 1 hour service. So again, Crystal used the word cut, but
Service reduction.
service
Big
reduction.
thing.
But the important thing is the metric. One of those, so if those metric, I don't think we have any flexibility to push back on the metric that the feds measure us on. And that's the reality, is we did not meet that metric.
Again, semantics, like you said, we had service reductions which directly impacted our performance.
So thank you for clarifying.
The last piece that I have is, there's a comprehensive ridership report attached for your review, but just to give, a high level, our fixed ridership is still down, almost 40% pre-pandemic. However, our paratransit is, only down about 4%. So we're almost 100% on our, para. And that is all I have. Thank
So
you.
did you jump ahead to 8D on the ridership report?
That was just an information
Oh,
item.
okay.
There's a lot of information like
Yeah.
cost per trips, per route. There's a lot of information in there. So if you guys want to go.
Okay,
like,
so just could you make sure to send out the open house information to the board? Because I know I got the information, but I'm not sure how I got that.
Definitely.
But
Make
there was a lot of interest from certainly from my city council on the open house on the 28th.
That's exciting to hear.
So, yeah,
Make sure that
so, yes.
all the board. Yes, thank you.
And okay, so I think we're to the CAC report. Judy? Or did I miss something? So we talked about the satisfaction. Yeah, go ahead, Judy.
Okay, I'm here and I do have to ask, I'm sorry, I don't have an agenda to hand. We were actually wanting the board to approve our recommendation for a member removal due to no contact. Is this not being done, or was this?
It is not on the agenda. But it was in the CAC minutes.
In the report
Yeah, so we,
and in the minutes?
The second sentence.
yeah, so the CAC voted to recommend member withdrawal of Anthony Whitesides because it hasn't been to the meeting. So I think we could probably
Well,
take
no,
that.
more than that, there's all the contact information is bounced.
Okay.
There's no contact.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't take that up now. If
Thank you.
if anyone wants to make a motion on that.
Mr. Mayor Johnson, I'll make a motion to approve the removal of
Anthony Whitesides.
Anthony Whiteside for reasons stated in the CAC letter.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Mayor Johnson, a second by Commissioner Browning to remove
Anthony Whiteside.
Anthony Whiteside from the CAC. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thanks for that flexibility, Judy, and you can continue with your
Okay.
report.
Sure. Okay. Well, we, since we're in between liaisons, we welcomed interim liaison Alan Brooks, and all the members appreciate his service, that he's taken on this extra hat. And then, of course, as is in the report, I can say the CAC voted to recommend member withdrawal of Anthony Whitesides, and I appreciate y'all taking care of that. Members are being asked to help out as greeters at the public meetings, and as an update, I can tell y'all that all the public meetings are being covered. The members will be there as greeters for the sign-in. We're also planning on an excursion to take place to just view the different changes in the 615, and we are going to try for May 8th on that one. After the staff report and the newly renamed Connector Committee report gave their reports, and everything is going well with the connectors. The common theme throughout the committee and the roundtable sessions is the request for follow-up marketing. On one hand, letting businesses know they can request rider information, and on the other hand, regularly letting communities know where the ridership information is. It's something that we felt should be ongoing if possible. Our next meeting, and all of the board are welcome to come, any or all, April 9th, Skagit Station. Zoom information is below. Respectfully submitted, Judy Jones, CAC Chair.
Thank you, Judy.
So Judy, one quick question. So you said it's at the Skagit station. What time is that meeting?
Okay, Zoom information is in your letter and it is at 4:30 from 5:30. It is always the second Tuesday of the month. And it is also, I included in the report. I also, you can see it on the calendar.
All right, any other
Thank you.
questions? Okay, thanks, Judy. Okay, any more on the ridership report, 8D?
I wanted clarification on something.
Okay,
The one, I don't know what it is, this page, the February performance report, it says total paratransit boardings on fixed route is 3,810. And the next page says it's 982. So I'm not real sure. They're the last two pages, at least of what I printed out. The February performance report is on the one. And down below it says UMO data. It says total paratransit boardings on fixed route is 3,810. And the next page says paratransit trips on fixed route is 982.
So that means, the 300, the
3,810.
I'm trying to
second
find,
number that you, I'm sorry,
I'm trying to find the number on the ridership report.
a
If
page.
you look on this chart
Under,
and then the next page, I don't know how to. It says total paratransit boardings on fixed route, and it says 3,810. The next page in the middle of it says paratransit trips on fixed route 982.
I found the paratransit trips on fixed route 982 number. I haven't found
Okay, and
those
then the
other.
previous page, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 up from the bottom chart.
On page.
Total
I don't
paratransit
have
board,
page
3,
numbers,
yeah,
so-
page 25,
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I don't have page numbers.
3,126. So percent of UMO boardings,
10.
3126.
So that's just confusing.
Any way we could clarify that? Yeah, I don't know. If you can't clarify it now, we can
Yeah, I'm
figure it
looking,
out.
yeah, I'm looking at it. So, of the 982 trips, those were the ones that rode fixed route for free and then saving the agency $71,686.
Right.
Answer your question.
No, because where does the 3,810 come from on the previous page? For the total paratransit boardings on fixed route, which shouldn't they be the same number?
No, that this is only capturing the UMO. These are the ones that rode paratransit for.
So 3,800 paratransit passengers rode fixed route using an UMO card? In a month?
This is the 3810 number is
Yeah.
para that rode, that used UMO, period. All, whether they rode fixed or para, that 3810 number,
It
using
says
that.
boardings on fixed route.
Okay,
Yeah, we can try to find a way to make that clear. It's a little muddy to me, but I'm not in this business. So,
we'll work with our planning. and-
yeah, so we have,
Interim planning and an outreach person to,
okay,
get clarification on that.
okay, thank you. All right, so, the board will now meet in executive session to discuss potential litigation as allowed by RCW 423010. We'll be in executive session for approximately 10 minutes. So we expect to come back at 12:05. with no action taken. So into executive session. Okay, I call the Skagit Board of Transit Directors meeting back to order, and we have only adjournment on the agenda. So with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
On next door.